7 things everyone cares about except Sigma males. Ever wonder why society expects you to follow a certain script? It's an intriguing question, isn't it? We all grow up with a societal script, an invisible playbook dictating our every move. It tells us how to behave, what to value, what's considered normal, and what's not. It's like a never-ending game of Simon Says, where society plays Simon, and we, the obedient players, follow along without questioning why. This societal script is everywhere. It's in the school that tells us what subjects are important and which ones are not. It's in the workplace that values productivity over creativity. It's in the media that portrays success as a high-paying job, a big house, a perfect family. And it's in the subtle cues and expectations that tell us how to dress, how to speak, how to act. But what if I told you that there's a group of individuals who flip this script, who veer away from these norms and expectations, not out of rebellion, but simply because they march to the beat of their own drum? They're called Sigma males. Sigma males are the rule breakers, the mavericks, the lone wolves. They don't fit into the alpha-beta social hierarchy that society often places us in. Instead, they carve their own path, living life on their own terms. They value their independence and solitude, finding strength in their self-reliance. Unlike the alphas who lead the pack or the betas who follow, Sigmas choose to walk alone. They're not driven by the need for social validation or approval. Instead, they find fulfillment in their own pursuits, in their own passions. They're not bound by the societal script. Instead, they write their own. Sigma males are intriguing, aren't they? They're not the heroes of the story or the villains. They're the mysterious characters who exist outside the traditional narrative, the ones who pique our curiosity and challenge our understanding of what it means to be a man in society. Sigma males, the rule breakers, the lone wolves. Intrigued? Stick around. So, who is this Sigma male, the wild card of the societal deck? Well, imagine a character who doesn't necessarily follow the crowd, but doesn't seek to lead it either. Sigma males are like cats, aloof but intriguing. They're the introverts of the masculinity spectrum, preferring their own company or that of a tight-knit group over large social gatherings. Now, don't mistake their introverted nature for shyness or social awkwardness. On the contrary, Sigmas possess a quiet confidence that's as compelling as it is mysterious. They're like the lone wolves of society, not because they're outcasts, but because they choose to be. Sigma males are self-sufficient, independent individuals. They don't rely on external validation or societal norms to define their worth or path. Instead, they march to the beat of their own drum, creating their own rules and living by their own standards. They're not the type to post every accomplishment on social media or brag about their successes. Instead, they let their actions speak louder than words. They're content with being unnoticed in the crowd, quietly making their mark on the world. Their independence extends to their thought processes as well. Sigma males have an inherent knack for critical thinking. They're not swayed by popular opinion, preferring to form their own informed perspectives. Now, let's inject some humor into the mix. Imagine if a Sigma male were to attend a party. He'd probably be the guy in the corner, sipping his drink, observing the crowd, and perhaps having a deep, meaningful conversation with the houseplant. But don't be fooled. He's not antisocial. He's just selective about the energy he surrounds himself with. And what about relationships? Well, Sigma males are not the type to engage in frivolous dating. They prefer deep, meaningful connections and are not afraid to wait for the right person. In a world that's constantly clamoring for attention, Sigma males stand out by not standing out. They're the enigmatic figures who prefer the road less traveled, carving their own path with a quiet, unassuming strength. Sigma males, they're not trying to be mysterious, they're just being themselves. Why does the Sigma male swim against the societal current? That's a question that has piqued the interest of many. You see, the Sigma male isn't one to conform to societal expectations. They're like a cat in a world of obedient dogs, independent and unpredictable. Picture this. It's Friday night and a party is in full swing. People are laughing, music is blaring, and social butterflies are fluttering from one conversation to another. Where's our Sigma male in all this? Probably tucked away in a quiet corner, engrossed in a captivating book, or simply enjoying his own company. A Sigma male at a party? He's most likely the one having a fascinating exchange with the most intriguing person he could find, himself. And if you think that's a bit odd, well, that's just because he's not playing by the same rules as everyone else. The Sigma male values his independence over societal norms. He doesn't feel the need to be the center of attention or to be validated by others. He's comfortable in his own skin, and he doesn't need anyone else's approval to feel good about himself. He's like a lone wolf, content to roam the wilderness on his own terms. While society is busy chasing after fame and fortune, the Sigma male is off pursuing his own passions and interests. He doesn't care about keeping up with the Joneses or fitting into a predefined mold. He's too busy carving his own path and marching to the beat of his own drum. But this doesn't mean the Sigma male is antisocial or that he shuns all forms of human connection. Quite the contrary, he values deep and meaningful relationships, but he doesn't seek them out for the sake of fitting in or appeasing societal expectations. In the end, the Sigma male isn't swimming against the current because he wants to rebel or stand out. He's simply swimming in a different direction because that's where his true self leads him. And that's the beauty of the Sigma male. He's not bound by societal norms or expectations. He's free to be himself, in all his authentic and independent glory. Sigma males, they march to the beat of their own drum. What sets the Sigma male apart from the rest? Now that's a question worth exploring. Let's dive into the unique traits that make Sigma males stand out in a crowd, or more accurately, away from the crowd. You see, Sigma males are often introverts, but not just your average introverts. They're like the superheroes of the introverted world. Imagine Batman standing on a rooftop overlooking the city, content in his solitude. That's your typical Sigma male. They find comfort and joy in their own company, and they wouldn't have it any other way. And speaking of Batman, Sigma males have another superhero trait: exceptional observational skills. They're not just gazing out into the void when they're alone. No, they're watching, learning, understanding. They're like Sherlock Holmes, minus the deerstalker hat and the pipe, of course. They pick up on details others might miss and use this knowledge to navigate their world. Sigma males, they're like ninjas, always observing, always ready. Now let's talk about self-reliance. If there were a poster child for self-reliance, it would probably be a Sigma male. They don't need a crowd to feel validated or a pat on the back to know they're doing well. They're their own cheerleaders, critics, and coaches. They set their own pace, follow their own rules, and reach their own goals. They don't just march to the beat of their own drum. They're the drummers, the composers, and the conductors of their own life symphony. And while we're on the topic of self-reliance, let's not forget their knack for self-improvement. Sigma males are always striving to be the best versions of themselves. They're like those characters in video games who are constantly leveling up, acquiring new skills, and becoming more powerful. Only, their game is life, and they're playing on expert mode. Finally, let's address a common misconception. Sigma males are often labeled as antisocial, but that's not quite accurate. They're not against socializing. They just prefer meaningful interactions over small talk. They're not fans of the superficial chatter that often fills social gatherings. They'd rather have a deep, engaging conversation with one person than exchange pleasantries with 50. So it's not that they're antisocial, they're just selectively social. And there you have it. The unique traits of Sigma males: introverted, observant, self-reliant, constantly improving, and selectively social. They're not trying to fit in or stand out. They're just being themselves. And in a world that's constantly trying to mold us into something else, that's a breath of fresh air. Sigma males, they're not antisocial, they're selectively social. What does a day in the life of a Sigma male look like? Now that's a question that sparks intrigue. Imagine, if you will, a character who thrives on solitude, relishes independence, and whose favorite pastime is getting lost in the labyrinth of their own thoughts. That, my friends, is the Sigma male. A typical day? Well, it's far from what most might consider typical. It's not filled with constant social interactions or an incessant need to be seen or heard. No, it's quite the opposite. The Sigma male might start his day with a solo run at sunrise, not for the Instagram photo, but for the sheer joy of feeling his heartbeat echo the rhythm of his thoughts. His breakfast isn't a social affair, but a quiet moment of solitude where the only conversation is the one between him and his morning coffee. His workday isn't a race for recognition, but a dance of skill and intellect, where the prize is personal fulfillment, not public applause. His workspace, more like a sanctuary, a place where ideas are born and nurtured, free from the noise of the outside world. And when work is done, relaxation doesn't mean partying or socializing. It's more about a good book, a thought-provoking film, or perhaps a quiet walk under the stars. You see, for a Sigma male, the best company often comes from within. Now don't get me wrong, it's not that Sigma males are antisocial. They can mingle and mix when they wish to, but they don't need to. They're not energized by the crowd, but by their own inner world. And yes, they do have friends, but guess who their best friend is? Their own thoughts. The Sigma male's mind is like an uncharted universe, constantly expanding and full of fascinating discoveries. So the next time you see someone comfortable in their solitude, remember, they might be a Sigma male, just enjoying their own company. Sigma males, they enjoy their own company. Why are we so fascinated by Sigma males? Well, let's dive into that question. Picture a dark and stormy night. You're cozy inside, the wind is howling, and there's a sense of mystery in the air. That's the aura of a Sigma male in a nutshell. They're like the dark side of the moon, always there, but rarely seen. Sigma males are the embodiment of the word intrigue. Their quiet confidence and self-sufficiency make them stand out like a lone wolf in a world full of sheep. They're not ones to follow the herd, instead, carving their own path and leading a life that's uniquely their own. They're the ones who make their own rules, who don't conform to societal norms. In a world where everyone is running the rat race, Sigma males are the ones who found a unique route, a hidden path that others might not even know exists. They're like Indiana Jones, but instead of hunting for lost artifacts, they're exploring the vast landscape of their own minds. Sigma males are the kind of guys who, when they walk into a room, don't need to announce their presence. Their aura does it for them. They're the James Bond in a world full of loud and boisterous Bond's villains. They don't need to shout to be heard. Their actions speak louder than words. And let's not forget about their self-reliance. Sigma males aren't dependent on others for their happiness or success. They're like a one-man band, playing all the instruments, creating their own symphony. This sense of independence and self-sufficiency is not just appealing, it's downright inspiring. But perhaps the most appealing aspect of Sigma males is their mysterious nature. They don't wear their hearts on their sleeves. They keep their cards close to their chest. They're like a puzzle waiting to be solved. And who doesn't love a good mystery? Sigma males, they're enigmatic, and that's part of their charm. So, what can we learn from Sigma males? Well, let's dive in and wrap up our exploration. Firstly, we've discovered that Sigma males are the rebels of societal norms. They are the lone wolves, the free spirits who don't feel the need to fit into predefined boxes. They march to the beat of their own drum, unafraid to live life on their terms. This independence is not born out of arrogance, but rather a deep understanding of self. Secondly, Sigma males have a unique allure that's hard to ignore. They are not the typical alpha males who command attention through loud voices or dominating presence. Instead, they draw people in with their quiet confidence, their ability to listen more than they speak, and their knack for maintaining an air of mystery. It's like they have their own gravitational pull, drawing others into their orbit without even trying. Thirdly, they are self-sufficient. They don't rely on external validation to feel good about themselves. They don't seek approval, but rather they seek self-fulfillment. They are the epitome of the saying, happiness comes from within. Fourthly, they are adaptable. They can thrive in solitude or in a crowd, in silence or in uproar, in chaos or in order. They are like water, taking the shape of whatever container they're in, yet always remaining true to their essence. Lastly, Sigmas are introspective. They possess a deep understanding of themselves and their place in the world. They are not just passively moving through life, but are actively engaging with it, constantly learning and growing. So in essence, Sigma males teach us that it's okay to be different. It's okay to stray from the beaten path and forge your own. They remind us that we don't need to seek external validation to feel worthy. To end on a light note, Let's say Sigma males might not be the life of the party, but they sure know how to live. They're the ones quietly sipping their drink in the corner, observing, analyzing, and probably having a deeper conversation with themselves than most people have in a lifetime. Sigma males, they're living proof that it's okay to break the mold.